This is basically Rise Armaments, their new Rise 535. The 535 has been out for a long time. I believe it's one of their first ever triggers. And this one basically has integrated trigger pins. For me. Yeah, so all you have to do is
pinch and push.
Yeah, depress the trigger pins and then push your cassette. Now, honestly, cassette triggers are pretty easy to install anyway. I mean, you just like literally drop this in just like that, and then you're good to go. But all you have to do with this is just pinch these little pins, and you don't need to even worry about the trigger pins at all. And you're just like in there in one fell swoop. What I really like about this, and we're kind of in a niche situation for us. We do gun builds all the time, right? We're always building out, lowers. We're always building out uppers. So having something like this is just really handy to quickly install a trigger and then, get it out as well, like in the same time.
Even outside of our use case, like as an upgrade, it is a great option if you don't want to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because
it is the lazy man's upgrade.
You can slide it in under the safety so traditional triggers. Some of the mil specs, sometimes you can get them in with the safety still in there. You can get them out with the safety still in there because they're two pieces. But a cassette trigger, I don't know of any that you can get out while the safety's still installed or put in. So one of the things they did is they have this removable shoe on the front now. The shoe is missing right now.
That's right. And it comes with two.
Yep. Yeah. You get a flat and a curved, which is good value.
Yeah. They could have charged extra for this, They could have been like, this is $10 more.
It's magnetic, so actually, like, I know, Josh, you had the concern of like this might fall off.
I did, but I don't anymore.
It's on very tight and very difficult to remove, actually.
Because there is like a hinge thing on there, or like I'm not sure how to explain that, like a pivot point that you can put on there. Yeah, and it's on there where you can't just slide it right off. Because when I saw it at shot, I was like, oh man, is that just gonna slide right off of there? I mean,
so when you take this off, what it actually does is there's enough clearance to bring this forward to get it under the safety.
Yep.
So I think that was one of the things very missed at shot of this design. Like everyone's focused on the spring pins,
which are super cool.
Yeah, they're cool, but at the same time, like there's other triggers, or there's so many other items with captured spring pins, like pogo pin style. But Zach, the owner here, actually called it out first. And the Rise even said he was the first one to bring that up there. Was the reason you can get this in under the safety is because now with that removable shoe, you can slide this forward enough and get it under.
So there you go. So no removing the safety. This also feels like, honestly, if you've never like felt a 535 before, these are great feeling triggers. Like
very crisp.
The reset, like everything else. I mean, these guys
reasonable weight pull on them.
Right. A lot of the
not ultra light, but not heavy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the like a lot of the ooh, look at that. Like a lot of the industry.
You good over there?
Yeah, I'm good. Like a lot of the industry, these guys, I mean, really, they came from like the aerospace background and all that stuff, so they have like awesome experience doing
3.25 pound pull.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly, I think, where you want to be as consumer shooter.
It's funny because they say 1 minute. Sub-minute installation. I'm pretty sure it's shot like 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think the
6 or 8 seconds was like the record.
That had like 6 seconds.
The other thing too I found with these is compared to the ones that shot, so a lot of cassette triggers will have springs or like kind of take-up screws on the bottom. Rise Armament does springs, so you don't have to manually put the screws in.
Just like that.
Just like that.
And then
and then you got to do this.
The next thing would be to put the
shoe on.
Which is a little bit hard with the...
They also look cool, I mean, as triggers, which is like kind of a shame because they do this cool like casing on the outside, and then it's like, well, it's in your gun.
That's always kind of one thing. It's like they put so much time and effort into the colors of.
They really do.
Set.
Yeah, they really do.
The housing is like.
I mean, the way I see that is just straight up marketing, and in terms of like, if I see this on the shelf, I'm like, I want that one. That's literally,
it was. I found it was the opposite because I posted Rise had actually posted this on Twitter, and I retweeted it, and it was just like, hey, like no joke, I think this is one of the coolest and most innovative triggers to come out in a really long time. And someone had left a comment that they were like, why does everything got to be red with you guys? I'm like, well,
That is our brand.
I mean, first off, I'm not your dad. You can choose the black or the silver skew if you want. I just thought the red one looked cool.
They didn't like the red shoe. I saw that comment.
Right.
Like, I could go without the red shoe. It's like, dude, they have black. Like,
He was cool once I told him like they have the other color options and they just shared the red. But the reason you share the red is because when you're in the space and you're building all the time, man, it gets boring building the same black gun over and over and over and over and over again.
the other thing that I personally like about these new 535s is you don't need to use anti-walk or anti-rotation pins.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like the look of having those screws or the K&S pins looks kind of cool, but there are times when you don't want that distraction from it. Like my 1776 SBR, it's fully engraved. I don't want black screws covering the engraving on it. So
I will say that does have a rather premium price tag.
It does.
To it. It's
Yes.
on the more expensive end.
isn't it
of
like right around
triggers.
like 270, 275?
Yeah.
So and it's getting up there with that Trigger Tech Diamond area.
It's up there with these guys too.
Yeah, non-adjustable.
I would also say that, like, really, for us, and this is why I kind of prefaced it, for us, it works really well because it's like we're taking triggers in and out all the time. For someone who, isn't
Yeah,
building.
but pin punch, show them how fast it comes out.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the important part for us.
Yeah, it's like if you're not taking guns apart all the time, if you're not trying this trigger, like for me, this is almost the perfect trigger if you have kind of multiple guns and you're swapping this trigger in and out of kind of your multiple, at least maybe lower receivers to test
If you were
something
really
else.
on a budget and you wanted a good trigger,
Yeah.
and you want to take the time to swap them, it's kind of like as we were saying earlier about chassis for handguns. Like,
Don't forget about that.
be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
If like you're actually going to be swapping it out,
Yeah, boom,
'Cause-
just like that.
after you do it 2 or 3 times, the nostalgia is going to be lost.
Yeah.
On it.
100%.
And the reason that's important for what CJ and I are doing too is because we can take that to the range. We can throw that in a range bag, and if we have a trigger issue, we just take the other one out, throw the pieces of it in the bag, and then put that in, and we're back to going. So I mean, if you're someone that builds a lot, or you're someone that is troubleshooting a lot, I think it's a great value there. But if you want, like I know Charlie, you have one of those living permanently in a gun already. And it's all around the 535 is probably one of the better triggers out there. Everyone's going to bring their cheapest and their most expensive favorite trigger to the podcast.
As far as like an instant change, is get a good trigger.
If you're saving $50 a month, and that $50 a month is your budget to improve your gun, this is what you save 3 months for. That's why all of my duty use guns that I have, they all have Geisley triggers in them. And then next thing you know, you've got you're shooting, you're doing a SIG P320 and you're ending up in a Ben Stoker video.